Today we're going to be talking about the state of the LEGO Castle theme over the past few years and what we can look forward to in 2027. This video is going to both have some hard facts about what we know is coming through, leaks and announcements, but we're also going to be discussing speculation, crackpot theories, and is going to be quite different from my normal videos. So with that out of the way, let's get into it. For the first couple of years of me making videos on this channel, I was such an optimist when it came to LEGO Castle's future and really everything about the theme. Then came 2025. We were looking forward to the Horse Knight Castle, and the Wolfpack Beastmaster had just released. During one of those first couple days of the new year, I spent the day driving around to different stores in my area, trying to find the new CMF. What sticks out to me most about this memory is walking into a Walmart, 3 hours away from my house, thinking, what am I even doing? It felt like such a waste of time, and in retrospect, it definitely was. All this effort to hopefully find one minifigure from my favorite theme? A couple of days after that, I went on hiatus from YouTube for 4 months, not uploading any videos until the Horse Knight Castle was revealed on May 1st. After that video, it would take me another couple of months to make a normal mock video that had been a staple of the channel for years. I had a ton of fun building the mock, but it took me way longer than it would have previously to make a video about it. That trend continued for a long time, and my output hasn't really recovered to where it was in 2023 and 2024. I only made 2 mock videos for that entire year. Compare that to the nearly 20 mock videos that I made in 2024. I clearly wasn't into it the same way that I used to be. Now, to give myself a bit of grace here, I am way prouder of those 2 mocks that I made last year than any of the ones I made in 2024. The video, I built LEGO castles for every new faction, is easily my favorite on the channel, and I'm still super proud of how that one turned out. I think it's a really fun video. The weekly schedule that I had during the first 2 years of this channel was a ton of fun, but it also led to some rushed mocks, videos, and overall ideas. But my erratic schedule of 2025 and this year has been way too unstructured, leading to big delays on videos that realistically could have been finished a long time ago. A big part of why my schedule has been so inconsistent is because I simply didn't believe in where LEGO was taking the castle theme. Moving away from retail sets towards more and more exclusive Bricklink sets and an over-reliance on Pick-a-Brick for army builders. I felt like LEGO was complacent with the theme and had no ambitions beyond the status quo that had emerged post the castle boom of 2022 to 2024. 2025 did bring some great news in the form of new factions with the Horse Knight Castle and Prize Machine set. Initially, I was excited and speculated that LEGO was planning to use these new factions in some retail sets. But I was left somewhat jaded in the months after, as it seemed like these new factions would be fodder for the Bricklink Designer program and Pick-a-Brick. For a long time, I've critiqued LEGO for leaving castle fans at the whims of these two services. This was made a lot worse as most of the previous retail sets, like the Lion Knight's Castle, retired with no replacements in sight for them. As much as I love the builds that come out of the Bricklink Designer program, there's a ton of talented people that work there and produce mocks for it, I simply just don't like how it's the only option for castle fans to get new sets. I don't even think it's that healthy for the program to have as many castle-related sets as it does. I've seen many regular fans of the program complain that Bricklink picks way too many medieval-adjacent sets, and they're kinda right. If LEGO produced more retail sets, castle fans would have a lot of other things to spend their money on. I think we can all agree on that. This would allow for more variety in themes for each designer series to explore and have a greater option for the fans of the series. As I mentioned before, Pick-a-Brick is another similar problem. It's a really nice service for super fans of LEGO Castle to use and get minifigures for a decent price. The problem with it is that most people that like LEGO don't know it exists. The same is also true for the Bricklink Designer program, but I've spoken enough on that for now. Pick-a-Brick allows for fans in the know to buy minifigures directly from LEGO's factories, but as I said, it's niche. I believe that LEGO Castle has a much bigger audience than Pick-a-Brick can really serve. The website goes out of stock pretty frequently on castle items and takes months to restock sometimes. I've had orders get cancelled, delayed, and have had missing pieces in orders that did come. It sounds like I'm really ragging on Pick-a-Brick, but I do love it. I wouldn't be able to make the videos that I do without it, and I'm super grateful that it exists. However, it's not perfect, and it's not a replacement for retail sets or minifigures. Some of my most popular videos on this channel are the ones where I make custom battle packs for LEGO Castle. I've done it a bunch of times and have so much fun making them. I even have one that I'm working on right now that's not quite finished. The horse is a pile of mush by this point, but why has LEGO not made any of their own battle pack sets? Super fans of LEGO Castle want them, and younger fans of LEGO would be able to get introduced to the theme for a reasonable price. Currently, LEGO is very dominated by older fans because LEGO has neglected to make affordable sets that kids can actually convince their parents to buy for them. LEGO Castle won't exist in the future if kids today don't grow up playing with it. I wouldn't be a fan of LEGO Castle if it weren't for the Fantasy Era and Kingdom sets that I had growing up. The same is true today. If LEGO wants to continue milking the nostalgia for Castle, they've got to create new fans at some point. The Horse Knight Castle does an okay job at this, but again, it's expensive compared to the playsets that existed for most of LEGO Castle's history. So why am I complaining so much when the title of this video is I'm optimistic about LEGO Castle again? Well, I don't know if it's delusion, premonition, or something else entirely, but I think something big is coming. 2026 is a bit of a dud. We're getting the Sea Serpent gift with purchase and nothing else until next year. If there was some other castle thing coming in, like, say, autumn or winter, we'd probably have rumors or leaks of it by this point, so we can safely set our eyes onto 2027. We already know that we're getting a couple of medieval CMFs on January 1st, but we're blind otherwise. So where does my speculation and hope come from? Well, it's from a discussion the other day in the LEGO Castle Discord, where I mentioned that the upcoming Black Raven minifigure from Series 30 might get added to the Bricklink program. What this means is that if it happens, then the parts from the Raven Knight figure could be used in upcoming Bricklink designer sets. Normally, CMF parts don't get used in other sets, retail or otherwise, but there are some notable exceptions from the recent past. The Troubadour from Series 22 was reused in different castle sets after the CMF retired, and even ended up on Pick-a-Brick for a little bit of time. Granted, it wasn't every piece from the figure, but it was the majority of the fig. We also saw the shield from the Wolfpack Beastmaster CMF show up in a Bricklink set. So it's not unreasonable to say that we could see certain elements from the upcoming Raven Knight in other sets, both retail and more likely in the Bricklink Designer series. This brings me to a clip from a recent Bricklink livestream where they showed off some of the new and upcoming castle sets from Series 11. In the stream, Bricklink Designer Program Lead Alex mentions some new things on the horizon that they'll be able to take advantage of.
We've got a lot of fun things coming with this model, so stay tuned for next year. Similar, there's some new things on the horizon that we'll be able to take advantage of, which will be a lot of fun.
New castle things? That's always great to hear. I bet everyone in the crowd loves that. Awesome.
Brad's Archives brought this clip to my attention, and it seems like the upcoming Royal Nest will have the Griffin Knights swapped out for the Ravens. This has also happened before with Dustmark Keeps minifigures switching from the Tax Collector fig to the newer Snake Knights available on Pick-a-Brick. Also, I mean, the Royal Nest name of the set translates pretty easily from a Griffin Castle to a Raven one, so everything is kind of lining up neatly. I think it's safe to say that we can look forward to a Raven Knight Bricklink designer set going on sale June 1st of 2027. I would be pretty surprised if this doesn't end up happening, as with that clip and the other evidence we're gathering, it seems like it's going to happen. You may be asking yourself, okay, well, why are you excited that we're getting yet another Bricklink set after spending so much of this video complaining about said program? Well, I don't know. It's because I've lost my mind, and this is where we get into the more baseless speculation and hopecore that I used to deal in. The last time we got a direct-to-consumer style big medieval LEGO set was March of 2024 with the Medieval Town Square. That's over 2 years ago at this point. There's been little to nothing since, and that could reflect poor sales from the Medieval Town Square, but I don't have any data one way or the other to know. The only thing I'm basing that off of is the lukewarm reception that the set got as a follow-up to the Lion Knight's Castle. I myself didn't think the set was that worth it unless you were already a super fan of the theme, and I echoed that opinion in my review from the time. So either LEGO is done making direct-to-consumer expensive medieval sets, or they have a new one in the works. I don't think LEGO's done making these sets, mostly because they retired the Lion Knight's Castle. There's really not any reason for LEGO to do this. Like, why would they retire the Lion Knight's castle when they did? The set was on shelves for about 3 years, just over 3 years, I think, and could have stayed for at least another 2. It was well loved by the greater LEGO fandom, and other sets that released at around the same time are not retiring until 2027, like the Porsche 911 and the Back to the Future Time Machine. Both of which are also under the Icons theme along with the Lion Knight's Castle, so why then did they retire the Lion Knight's Castle but not these? Well, I think it's because they have a replacement for it coming. For a long time, I've speculated that the next big LEGO castle will be a remake of the Black Knight's castle from the 90s. The Black Knights have a ton of amazing sets from back then, and would make for a great candidate for a modern refresh. We also just got a new shield for them in the Sea Serpent, a gift with purchase remake of one of those classic sets. And I think it could be the case that LEGO's got a direct-to-consumer remake of one of their castles coming sometime early next year. March 2027 seems like a pretty reasonable guess, as that's when a lot of these Icon-style sets end up coming out. The original release date for the Medieval Town Square was March of 2024, so that's kind of what I'm basing this on. This hypothetical, expensive castle could also go to any of the other factions currently available through Pick-a-Brick. The Griffins and Snakes and Krakens are all still homeless as of right now, and it would be nice to see them get a castle at some point. Maybe a boat would be more fitting for the Krakens, but you get what I'm saying here. Though I personally believe, with no evidence or insider information, that LEGO will have some form of affordable castle stuff next year. Whether that's battle packs, playsets, or something else entirely, I don't know, I'm feeling a bit insane. There's just something in the water lately that's got me optimistic. Maybe it's the Raven Knights, I don't know. And we'll just have to wait and see if I'm left disappointed come next year. Please don't take any of that speculation too seriously apart from the Bricklink designer stuff, as that seems more concrete. And by all means, you could also join me in the delusion that other stuff is coming, but don't blame me if nothing happens. I'm feeling hopeful, and I wanted to make this little rant video, I guess. If you did make it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching. This was way different than something I'd normally make, but it felt good to get out, as it's been something I've been thinking about over the last month. And a big thank you goes out to my channel members, Gyojo, Faisal, Rio Bricks, Walkdermeister, Ryzen Covers, Peter, Daventria Bricks, Space Marine 5869, Nimble Saucepan, The Squad Up Kid, Bins Yuin, Emperor Bradicus, and all of my other members for supporting the channel. And as always, thank you all so much for watching.